The 1970s transformed war cinema forever. While Vietnam raged and America questioned everything, Hollywood delivered some of the most epic, brutal, and unforgettable World War II films ever made. We're talking about movies with budgets so massive that they borrowed entire armies, performances so legendary that actors refused Oscars, and battle sequences so realistic they're still used in documentaries today. From biographical masterpieces to international co-productions that took 3 years to film, these are the war films that defined a decade and changed cinema forever. 1. Kelly's Heroes, 1970. Clint Eastwood leads the ultimate anti-war heist movie, disguised as a World War II film. Set during the final days of the war, it follows a group of American soldiers who discover information about Nazi gold hidden behind enemy lines and decide to steal it for themselves. What makes this brilliant is how it captures the cynical spirit of the 1970s, while delivering spectacular tank battles and humor. The film perfectly reflects the era's anti-authority sentiment, with soldiers more interested in personal profit than patriotic duty. Despite several casualties, the men are determined to press forward, even if it means striking a deal with the opposing army. Donald Sutherland's hippie tank commander Oddball became an icon of counterculture cinema, spouting peace and love philosophy while commanding a Sherman tank. The film's message about the futility of war and the corruption of military leadership resonated with audiences tired of Vietnam. Telly Savalas delivers memorable supporting work as the tough sergeant, while the film's blend of action and dark comedy influenced countless war films that followed. It's essentially Ocean's 11 meets The Dirty Dozen, and it works perfectly too. The Hiding Place, 1975. This powerful drama tells the true story of the Ten Boom family, Dutch Christians, who hid Jews from the Nazis during the Holocaust. Julie Harris and Jeanette Clift deliver heartbreaking performances as sisters who risk everything to save lives, only to be caught and sent to concentration camps themselves. The film's exploration of faith under extreme persecution makes it one of the most emotionally devastating war films ever made. During World War II, a Dutch family caught hiding Jews is sent to a concentration camp, where their Christian faith helps them endure the hardships. What sets this apart from other Holocaust films is its focus on ordinary people choosing to do extraordinary things. The film doesn't shy away from the horrors of the camps, but it's ultimately about how humanity can survive even in the darkest circumstances. The performances are understated and powerful, avoiding melodrama in favor of authentic emotion. While it didn't receive wide theatrical release, it became a powerful testament to resistance and faith. The film shows that heroism doesn't always involve guns and explosions. Sometimes it's simply about refusing to abandon your principles when everything is at stake. 3. The Eagle Has Landed, 1976. Michael Caine stars in this thrilling tale of a German plot to kidnap Winston Churchill during World War II. Directed by John Sturges, the film follows a group of German paratroopers who infiltrate an English village as part of an assassination mission. What makes it fascinating is how it presents the German soldiers as sympathetic characters rather than typical Nazi villains. A German plot to kidnap Prime Minister Winston Churchill unfolds at the height of World War II. The film's strength lies in its moral complexity. These aren't evil SS officers, but professional soldiers following orders while questioning the morality of their mission. Donald Sutherland and Robert Duvall provide excellent support as the operations planners. The English countryside setting creates a unique atmosphere, mixing pastoral beauty with deadly intrigue. The film explores themes of duty, honor, and the personal cost of war without falling into simple good versus evil narratives. Caine's performance as the conflicted German colonel showcases his ability to find humanity in any character. The climactic action sequence in the village church is expertly staged, building tension while maintaining the film's thoughtful approach to its subject matter. 4. Slaughterhouse. 5. 1972. George Roy Hill's adaptation of Kurt Vonnegut's anti-war masterpiece uses the Dresden bombing to create a surreal meditation on the futility of war. The film follows Billy Pilgrim, an American soldier who becomes unstuck in time, experiencing past, present, and future simultaneously. It's one of the most unique war films ever made, using science fiction elements to explore trauma and survival. Slaughterhouse 5 won the jury prize at the Cannes Film Festival and was also nominated for the Palme d'Or, and Vonnegut himself was thoroughly impressed with director George Roy Hill's riveting interpretation. The film's non-linear structure reflects the psychological damage of war, jumping between Billy's capture, his life as a POW, and his post-war existence. The Dresden bombing sequence is devastating in its scope and horror, showing the civilian cost of total war. Michael Sachs delivers a haunting performance as Billy, capturing the character's dissociation and trauma. The film's dark humor and philosophical depth make it more than just a war movie. It's a meditation on human existence and mortality. Vonnegut stated that the filmmaker made a flawless translation of my novel Slaughterhouse 5 to the silver screen. 5. Force 10 from Navarone, 1978. Harrison Ford and Robert Shaw star in this explosive sequel to The Guns of Navarone. The film follows a team of Allied commandos tasked with destroying a strategically important bridge in Yugoslavia during World War II. While not as celebrated as the original, it delivers spectacular action sequences and showcases Ford in one of his earlier leading roles, just 1 year after Star Wars. During World War II, several oddly assorted military experts are teamed in a mission to raid and destroy a bridge vital to enemy strategy. What makes this work is the focus on military strategy and the importance of seemingly small operations in the larger war effort. The film benefits from stunning Yugoslav locations and practical effects that make every explosion feel real. Shaw brings his commanding presence as the mission leader, while Ford shows the charisma that would make him a superstar. The film's emphasis on teamwork and sacrifice reflects the era's more sophisticated approach to war cinema. The bridge destruction sequence is a masterclass in tension and spectacle, combining practical effects with genuine danger. It may be overshadowed by Ford's later success, but it's a solid entry in the commando subgenre. Adam Murther Klein, 1976. Alain Delon stars in this haunting French film about an art dealer who profits from Jewish desperation during the Nazi occupation, only to be mistaken for a Jewish man with the same name. The film's exploration of identity, guilt, and collaboration makes it one of the most psychologically complex war films of the decade. French film icon Alain Delon starred as the eponymous dishonest art dealer who sets out to capitalize on World War II by taking advantage of French Jews in a hurry to sell their artwork in order to flee the country. The film's power comes from its refusal to make Klein sympathetic. He's a collaborator who discovers what it feels like to be hunted. The haunting and poignant picture is an understated thriller that garnered widespread critical acclaim upon its release, premiering at the Cannes Film Festival. Delon's ice-cold performance perfectly captures a man whose comfortable existence is shattered by a case of mistaken identity. The film examines how ordinary people became complicit in the Holocaust, not through evil, but through indifference and greed. Mr. Klein was the recipient of 3 César Awards, including Best Film, making it one of the most acclaimed French films of the decade. Seventh Soldier of Orange, 1977. Paul Verhoeven's breakthrough film follows Dutch students who join the resistance against German occupation. Starring Rutger Hauer in one of his earliest roles, the film combines spectacular action with intimate character drama. It's notable for its realistic depiction of resistance work and the moral compromises it requires. During World War II, Dutch students joined the resistance movement against the German occupation of the Netherlands. Verhoeven's direction brings his trademark intensity to every scene, from quiet moments of character development to explosive action sequences. Hauer's performance showcases the charisma that would make him an international star, while the supporting cast creates a believable ensemble of ordinary people forced into extraordinary circumstances. The film doesn't romanticize resistance work. It shows the fear, uncertainty, and terrible choices that fighters face daily. The production values are exceptional, with authentic period details and locations that transport viewers to occupied Holland. It's a more personal and intimate war film than many Hollywood productions, focusing on how war changes individuals rather than just depicting battles and explosions. 8. A Bridge Too Far, 1977. This massive World War II epic chronicles Operation Market Garden, the failed Allied attempt to end the war quickly by capturing key bridges in the Netherlands. With an all-star cast including Sean Connery, Michael Caine, Anthony Hopkins, and Robert Redford, it's one of the most ambitious war films ever attempted. Operation Market Garden, September 1944. The Allies attempt to capture several strategically important bridges in the Netherlands in the hope of breaking the German lines. The film's attention to detail is staggering, with director Richard Attenborough going to extraordinary lengths to recreate the massive military operation. A Bridge Too Far is a truly massive war movie, one that is entirely befitting of the term film epic. The star-studded cast brings gravitas to every role, while the script carefully explains the complex military strategy without losing dramatic momentum. The film's title reflects the operation's ultimate failure, an ambitious plan that stretched Allied forces too thin. The battle sequences are spectacular, combining practical effects with genuine military hardware. Despite the disappointing outcome, the film celebrates the heroism of individual soldiers while critiquing the strategic decisions that led to unnecessary casualties. 9. Cross of Iron, 1977. Sam Peckinpah's only war film presents a brutal German perspective on the Eastern Front. James Coburn stars as a battle-hardened sergeant fighting against incompetent officers and the advancing Soviet army. It's one of the most violent and uncompromising war films ever made, reflecting Peckinpah's trademark brutality. The film follows German soldiers during the brutal retreat from Stalingrad, focusing on the conflict between professional soldiers and ambitious officers. Peckinpah brings his expertise in depicting violence to create some of the most intense combat scenes ever filmed. Coburn's performance as the cynical sergeant is perfect, a man who survived by focusing on keeping his men alive rather than winning medals. The film's anti-war message is clear but never preachy, showing how war corrupts everyone it touches. The Eastern Front setting provides a different perspective on World War II, showing German soldiers as human beings rather than faceless enemies. Peckinpah's direction emphasizes the chaos and confusion of combat, using his signature slow motion and rapid editing to create visceral impact. It's a war film that pulls no punches in depicting the horror and futility of armed conflict. 10. The Englorious Bastards, 1978. Enzo G. Castellari's action-packed B-movie follows a group of military prisoners who escape during a transfer and end up behind enemy lines. While made on a limited budget, it delivers spectacular action sequences and became the inspiration for Quentin Tarantino's later film. It's pure entertainment that doesn't pretend to be anything more than exciting escapism, not Tarantino's World War II picture, but the 1978 B-movie that partially inspired it. Explosive, colorful, and slicker than you might expect, it follows a ragtag bunch of Allied soldiers who end up on a dangerous mission behind enemy lines. The film's strength is its refusal to take itself too seriously, while still delivering genuine thrills. The cast brings energy and charisma to their roles, creating memorable characters despite the limited budget. Castellari's direction keeps the pace moving, building to increasingly spectacular action sequences. The film's influence on modern action cinema is undeniable, with its blend of humor and violence inspiring countless imitators. It proves that great war films don't need massive budgets. They just need imagination, energy, and a willingness to entertain audiences. Tarantino himself has praised the film's commitment to pure cinematic excitement over historical accuracy. 11. Midway, 1976. This epic recreation of the pivotal Pacific battle features an all-star cast, including Charlton Heston, Henry Fonda, and Hal Holbrook. The film dramatizes the 1942 naval battle that turned the tide of the Pacific War, combining spectacular aerial combat with personal drama. It's notable for its use of actual World War II footage integrated with new material, a dramatization of the battle that was widely heralded as a turning point of the Pacific theater of World War II. The film benefits from an exceptional cast that brings gravitas to both American and Japanese characters, avoiding the stereotypes common in earlier war films. The aerial battle sequences remain some of the most spectacular ever filmed, combining practical effects with real warships and aircraft. Heston's performance as a fictional naval officer provides a human anchor for the larger strategic story. The film shows how intelligence work and code breaking were crucial to Allied victory, not just firepower and courage. Director Jack Smite balances multiple storylines effectively, moving between high-level strategy and individual heroism. The movie shows the action from many levels, command to common sailors, making it both an intimate character study and a sweeping historical epic. 12th, 1941-1979. Steven Spielberg's underappreciated war comedy centers on paranoid California residents preparing for a Japanese invasion following Pearl Harbor. John Belushi headlines as a crazed National Guard pilot, while Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, and Christopher Lee create chaos as soldiers on high alert. Despite mixed reviews, it's an ambitious satire of American paranoia and military incompetence. Steven Spielberg directed the underappreciated war comedy 1941, centering on a group of anxiety-ridden California residents as they fearfully prepare for a Japanese invasion. Following the devastating attack on Pearl Harbor, the film's massive budget allowed for spectacular practical effects and elaborate set pieces that showcase Spielberg's technical mastery. Belushi's manic performance as Wild Bill Kelso captures the hysteria and confusion of the home front during wartime. The film satirizes American paranoia and military preparedness, while delivering genuine laughs and spectacular action. While critics initially dismissed it as Spielberg's failure, time has been kinder to its ambitious blend of comedy and spectacle. The film's theme of fear and overreaction feels remarkably relevant to modern audiences. It may not be Spielberg's best film, but it's certainly his most underrated, combining his visual flair with sharp social commentary. 13. Overlord, 1975. Stuart Cooper's haunting black-and-white masterpiece follows a young British soldier from training through D-Day. Set during the Battle of France and Normandy landings, the film chronicles the horrors a sensitive everyman witnessed while on the battlefield. By integrating actual World War II footage with fictional narrative, it creates an incredibly realistic and devastating portrait of war. During World War II, a young lad's called up and, with increasing sense of foreboding, undertakes his army training for D-Day. Director Stuart Cooper declared, "Overlord is not about military heroics. On the contrary, it is about the bleakness of sacrifice." The film's use of archival footage creates an almost documentary-like authenticity, blurring the line between fact and fiction. Brian Sterner's performance as the doomed soldier is quietly devastating, capturing the fear and resignation of someone who knows he probably won't survive. The film's black and white cinematography adds to its documentary feel while creating a timeless quality. It's one of the most anti-war films ever made, showing how ordinary young men were fed into the war machine. The D-Day sequence is both spectacular and heartbreaking, emphasizing the human cost rather than military glory. This is war cinema at its most honest and unforgiving. Torah Torah, 1970. This sweeping international co-production chronicles the attack on Pearl Harbor from both American and Japanese perspectives. Directed by Richard Fleischer and Japanese directors Toshio Masuda and Kinji Fukasaku, it took 3 years to produce and remains one of the most historically accurate war films ever made. The aerial battle sequences are breathtaking and still impressive today. This dramatic retelling of the Pearl Harbor attack details everything in the days that led up to that tragic moment in American history. The film's commitment to historical accuracy is legendary. Technical advisors included veterans from both sides of the conflict, including Minoru Genda, who actually helped plan the attack. The production used authentic military equipment and filmed in multiple countries to recreate the events accurately. Torah is a sweeping blockbuster of epic proportions that chronicles the attack on Pearl Harbor with 3 directors hired to film their own separate parts. The film's unique approach of showing both American and Japanese viewpoints was revolutionary for its time. The aerial sequences remain some of the best ever filmed, using real aircraft and practical effects rather than CGI. It's a film that respects both the attackers and the attacked, showing how miscommunication and cultural misunderstanding led to tragedy. 15. Patton, 1970. George C. Scott's legendary performance as the controversial World War II general earned him an Oscar that he famously refused to accept. Directed by Franklin J. Schaffner, with a screenplay by Francis Ford Coppola, the film chronicles Patton's campaigns in North Africa, Sicily, and Europe. It's both a character study of genius and madness and a spectacular war epic. The World War II phase of the career of controversial American General George S. Patton becomes an unforgettable cinematic experience. Scott's performance is one of those sublime performances in which the personalities of the actor and the character are fulfilled in one another. The film's opening monologue, delivered by Scott as General Patton with an enormous American flag behind him, remains an iconic and often quoted image in film. Patton won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay, though Scott declined his Best Actor award. The film's complex portrayal shows Patton as both a brilliant military strategist and a difficult, egomaniacal leader. Jerry Goldsmith's powerful score perfectly captures the general's militaristic yet deeply religious nature. The film works both as an intimate character study and as a sweeping historical epic, examining how individual personality can shape world events. It's a masterpiece that proves war films can be both spectacular entertainment and serious drama. From epic international co-productions to intimate character studies, the 1970s proved that World War II stories could be more than just good versus evil propaganda. These films dared to show the complexity, moral ambiguity, and human cost of the world's greatest conflict. Which of these classic war films impacted you the most? And do you think modern war movies can match the ambition and craftsmanship of this golden era? Are we missing the serious, thoughtful approach to war that these 1970s masterpieces represented? Or have we evolved beyond the need for such grand, sweeping historical epics? Let me know which of these forgotten gems deserves a spot in your watch list tonight.